So we use the circumference of the cap to cut out a carton. That carton we will use to cut another bigger carton. And the bigger carton will be our measurement to cut the cloth, that is the velvet material for the top of the cap. So we use that bigger carton to cut the velvet material, which we are doing now. So we also use the carton to cut out the foam. And that bigger carton will also be used to cut out the net. Yeah, straight to the nitty-gritty of the day, we apply gum to the foam. So while applying gum, you make sure every single part of the foam has a taste of the gum. So the foam is dried. So apply the foam to the cloth. So you do this carefully. And just as a reminder, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button. So we spread gum on the other side of the foam. So once the gum is dried, we start placing the net. And all this you do carefully to make sure everything is aligned in the right direction. While placing the net, you have to be very careful because the net has very sharp edges, which might injure you if you're not being careful while handling it. So the top and the body is ready. So the next thing online is to start applying gum to where you've choose as the top of the body. And you do this thoroughly. So the gum is dried up. So at this point, start inserting the top into the body. So this is the stage you have to be very careful while doing, because the net have sharp edges. And while doing this, all hands has to be on deck. And the net is very, very important because it is what gives you the shape. It is what makes the contact between the body and the top of the cap very firm. And you check for contact, and you make sure as you are inserting, you are arranging so it can give you the right shape. You make sure every part that is supposed to have contact between the top and the body is firmly joined. So after doing all this, you can press from the top to see if the net has enough strength to hold it up, which it does. So we apply gum to these edges, because the edges of the nets are sharp. So after applying gum, we let it dry up, and then we'll cover up. So you have to take your time to apply gum for every single part of these edges inside. So after applying gum and allowing it to dry, next thing is to start closing up. So you close up every part inside. So after that is done, it's time to apply gum generally to every part inside the cap. So every part of the cap inwards must have a taste of the gum. So it's all done. And it's time to apply our lining. So you have to arrange. So after this, the next thing to do is to start trimming off the lining. So this is a very, very, very delicate part of the project. So while trimming the lining, you have to make sure that you trim the lining in a way that it is at least half inch lower than the position of the edge of the cap. You make sure you cut it at least half inch lower than the edge of the cap. So after that is done, this is what you get. So you bring out your 1 inch rubber to use. Then you apply gum on the 1 inch rubber. So it's all dried up. And the next thing for us to do is to start placing the rubber at the edge of the cap inwards. So after placing around, you cut off the excess and you finish off. So after this, the next thing to do is to start pressing through. You press hard on the 1 inch gum, make sure it is firmly joined to the body of the inner part of the cap. So our work is done. What next is to clean off the gum, and this will be done by using fuel, petrol, or premium spirit, or whatever you call it. So we'll have it inside a container where you use a pin to punch the cover of the container. So I have a glove on me, so I'll be applying the foil on the glove. Then I'll be using the glove with my hands inside the glove to scrub every part containing gum that is not supposed to be. So every part containing gum that's not supposed to be there, you scrub. And you do this until there is no excess gum anywhere visible, because this is actually the finishing part of the job. So with this part, you have to take your time. Make sure you have enough fuel. So you turn to the front and you do the same. And after this, your job is completely done. So this is pretty much the last stage of whatever we're doing. So you do this as much as you feel you've done. So this is it.